All right, talk at the table now, and we begin with a political ad in our region that's already got some people calling it a low blow, and it's from George Demos, who tried to run against Democrat Tim Bishop for Congress at the eastern tip of Suffolk County last year, but he lost in the primary. Here's a clip from the ad, and pay attention to the optics next to Congressman Bishop.
Tired of politicians? Then look at George Demos. He's not a politician.
Now, to put somebody next to the Toronto mayor, I think is a low blow, but he, again, pierced him next to both the Toronto mayor, Rob Ford, and the president, who's not extremely popular right now with Obamacare. And again, Mr. Ford, of course, the man of crack use and so much more. Politics not for the faint of heart, Jerry, as we know here, but even Democrat, to do that to one another, not exactly, what's usually in the playbook.
Well, that's a leap, especially at this time of year when most people are not paying attention. And Demos is the guy who keeps wanting to run for Congress, run for Congress, run for Congress. So that's like that's not even a Hail Mary pass. It's sort of just it's an ugly, type of comparison. But my sense is it doesn't go anywhere. Probably picks up about another 5,000 or 6,000 votes for Bishop in a very tight district.
It'll certainly get a lot of airplay on shows, on political shows, where we're asking the question as to whether it's a low blow. I mean, Rob Ford is toxic right now. That's like the congressman who was busted for cocaine possession in Florida, putting somebody who's not in any trouble next to them.
It's an interesting pairing at the very least. All right, now if you guys saw 60 Minutes, you know where I'm going next here. Delivery by drone. You got a sneak peek on it last night here of what Amazon is hoping will be the next generation of delivering stuff. I'm not talking about books. I'm talking a whole bunch of stuff. 80% of their products, they say, weigh less than 5 pounds, and these drones could be the new delivery mechanism, assuming the FAA and everybody else gets on board. Take a look.
I know this looks like science fiction. It's not.
Wow.
This is early. This is still years away. Drops the package.
There's the package.
You come and get your package, and we can do half-hour delivery.
Half-hour delivery.
Half-hour delivery, and we can carry objects we think up to 5 pounds, which covers 86% of the items that we deliver.
Okay. They have these things called fulfillment centers. I learned a lot by this last night, but Demos is foregoing bigger profit margins to keep building and building more of these places. They do, think about it, we're Amazon, they books. Now they do food, they're doing fashion, they're doing this. Imagine ordering something in a half an hour, it's at your door. How much does it freak you out that it can be coming by a drone, or do you think this is an inevitability of technology?
It's amazing to me. When I was watching it, I was thinking, it reminds me of Harry Potter, where they just fly through the, like a half hour you order something and it comes right through. But, one of the big questions, what does this do about jobs? I mean, all the delivery people, I mean, there's job implications here. And so there's a lot of implications for this kind of thing. It's truly amazing. I assume it's going to happen in the very near future. And it's mind-boggling. But on the other hand, you have a lot of people whose livelihoods depend on driving and the other work that goes involved. So I wonder how that's going to function.
You get to a point, Dominic. You saw how the processing center worked and stuff. It's all like computerized. But when Jeannie said it, I was like, Jesus. Now the delivery guy's out of the mix. I mean, you start thinking about this. Everything is robotic at the factories. What are people going to do for jobs? I know that wasn't the point of the story yesterday, but to me, I left it saying, this is great, this is advancements, this is efficiencies, but where are they working,
I just don't see it, Richard. I really don't see it. I just, call me about to get old, become an old man. Thank God we'll all be old at that point, I guess. I just don't see it. I mean,
why don't you see it?
Because how much is that going to cost?
They claim, think about it, the efficiencies of it. They eliminate the labor costs, assuming they'll make it work.
Right, how much is it going to cost?
Well, it's not. It's robotic.
How many millions of deliveries does Amazon do every day? Can you imagine 9 million drones running around for
again, the weight limits have to be. Look, it sounds like I'm working for the company.
But it's going to wind up looking like the Jetsons or the beginning of Futurama,
and
where you've got chaos in the sky.
But it is happening. But what happens when one of those drones makes someone lose their life and get in a car accident?
they're in the air. So if the car's flying, then you've got a real
Right,
story
but I'm talking
there.
about the ones that crash.
Well, they say they have to have all these redundancies, that they're going to figure this out. They said the worst thing is imagine if it landed on somebody's head or something
That's
in
what
the driveway.
I kept thinking.
Right.
Yeah.
Technology is moving so much
Technology
faster.
is
than the rest of us.
moving.
It is
It is
amazing
moving.
where we've
Just
got.
think how long it took the FAA to talk about cell phones on airplanes.
Yeah.
Can you imagine how long it's going to take them?
They
to
say
decide if they want
2015,
these-
2016. That might be overly ambitious, I
Right.
grant you, but we see
Wow.
where these things are going in terms of robotics and in terms of delivery systems, drones. I mean,
So I can have my own drone?
You may need
if
your
you want
own drone.
to get a few people upset, go for it.
I just
yeah.
think if people get into an environment where they've got drones flying around them like gnats, where there's so many things flying through the air, because it wouldn't just be Amazon, it would then all the other
But
companies
if
that
I
would want
need
in
my
on
dress quickly, Andrew, I would like it delivered like that.
it. I know you would, but when you're not waiting for the dress and you've got 10 drones surrounding you at all times, people I think are going to get
Surrounding you.
annoyed.
It's not like a
I
horror
don't
film.
order that much.
It's going to be the birds with drones.
I think you have a better shot getting a delivery by drone in Nebraska than in Levittown. It's as simple as that.
You a football fan?
Love it. Sure.
Did you watch Saturday night, the Auburn-Alabama game?
That was quite a game.
One of the best games I've ever seen here.
Ever.
Now, even if you're a casual fan, and I'm counting my daughters among this, they were riveted by this scene this past weekend here. It may be the best finish, forget about this year, of all time. I got friends in Alabama, so you cannot overstate the importance of what is so-called the Iron Bowl. In-state rivals, Alabama, #1 ranked in the country when the game began, and #4 Auburn. Intense dislike here. They said there wasn't a wedding planned in the whole state. You couldn't get buried if you wanted to. The game tied with 1 second left. Alabama tried a 57-yard field goal, came up short. Then Adam Griffith, who was the kicker, kicked it. Chris Davis there, tiptoeing down the sideline, staying in bounds. Gets a few blocks. More than 100 yards later, he scores the winning touchdown. The coach, Mr. Saban there, cannot believe it for Alabama. McCarron, who was thought to be even the Heisman possible, he's consoled by his girlfriend, boo-hoo for him. And Auburn wins in an unbelievably wild fashion. They'll advance to the SEC championship game, but it had everybody talking. There's so many twists and turns, strategy questions where they could have done, should have done. The Alabama team forced them to have one more play. They were going to end it and go over to overtime. They're like, no, let's check the clock. And then it came back to bite them. And I've had a brief familiarity with SEC football. None of us can appreciate. It's a religion down south. And especially when you go in the state of Alabama like this, there was either mourning or celebration, I think 3 days later. It was
Well,
something
it's
else.
exciting to have a college game in contrast to the Jets and the Giants, so we needed that.
Jerry, thank you. Here I was, like trying to push Sunday by, which was, honestly, I was going
It
to
was a
think
great
Dominic
game.
could have been better at quarterback. than
Great
the Jets.
game. It proves that anything is possible in life, and it proves never give up. Never give
Hold
up.
on, let's write that down.
given-
Anything's possible in life.
Any given
Never give up.
Saturday.
Hey, thanks, Dom. Yeah.
1 second on the clock. 1 second.
All right.
1 second.
1 second. Thank you,
1
Dominic. We will take a break here with those words of wisdom. And when we come back, we will get into one more topic. Stay with us.